Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bide Podcast with Raven and Rhe.
I'm your host, Raven.
And I'm your host, Rhe, and this is episode 31. We've made it to 1 year. We had our 1 year anniversary episode at the beginning of the month, and today happens to be Halloween. So we're like full circle.
No, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we did record our Halloween episode literally last year, a year ago today, because I was in San Antonio meeting Mare and Cherish for the first time, and we recorded, I think we did, it was Twilight actors and their careers, and we just like went through each Twilight character or actor and like, you know, their past work and stuff like that. And that's where we discovered that I know nothing about like movies.
That was so funny. We carved pumpkins. We both did Among Us on the pumpkins, not knowing that we had both had that same idea. Because we didn't want to tell each other what we were carving, and then all of a sudden we turned our pumpkins around and we both had a little Among Us characters.
Yeah, it was super funny because we did I don't know why we had did it like this, but we did a Halloween episode like the 2 weeks before Halloween. And that was like the Halloween get ready, like stuff like that. And then we did and then we recorded on Halloween, but it was not a Halloween episode.
Yeah, that was it was so funny.
And this is not a Halloween episode either. But for our Halloween special, we talked about the Twilight villains, and I think it's a little full circle because we were gonna be talking about the most underrated Twilight villain of all time.
Oh my god, yeah. Which also, since it's Halloween, if you guys want to go to our Instagrams, you can see what we dressed up as for Halloween today. It was a Sunday, so like there's no, people ain't gonna go out on Sunday. I didn't go out, so I just dressed up and took pictures and filmed TikToks.
Yeah, I did. We went to Peter Piper for a birthday party, and that's when I dressed up, and I also filmed TikToks. But it was a chill day. It wasn't anything crazy. But I was gonna say that, before we get into the topic, so we took a little break. So we took a little break just because I think for the majority of our podcast, we've been doing it like through a pandemic time, and like, so school and work, the majority of our podcast has been dealt with us, like in a pandemic. So we had a lot of free time on our hands. And so now it's like a little bit more difficult as things are starting to get like back to normal and things like that. It's harder to kind of like find that balance, so that was like one of the main reasons why I needed to have a break, because I was just having like tons of things going on with work. We had to film like an anti-bullying video for the school, and it was a very good video, but like it did take time, and then I'm having like practices every day. I'm not getting home till like 9:30 at night sometimes. So sometimes the weekends are like my only time to like clean my house or sleep in, or things like that. I think yesterday I slept until did not wake up yesterday until 1 p.m. and it was beautiful, and I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
but
that's nice. I'm glad you had a good break.
Yeah. And then even now, like I think things are going to be a little bit more chill from now on, kind of. But it's still kind of, because the main thing for me was we had to do a haunted house, and then we had competitions, and then we had like we're starting to get all these things figured out for the musical at the high school. And so it was just like a lot all at once. And so it was like, I need to get through this, and then I can like focus on other things. And now everything's kind of like dying down a little bit, and it'll pick up again towards December, like at the end of just like in the beginning of December. But that's nothing like that I really have to do. It's more like me just having to go and show up and be there, because it's like the performances. So that was the main reason why I needed to take a break. I was just like super overwhelmed. There was like one day I literally was just like, I'm calling off of work today because like I was having super bad anxiety that my house was a mess and like I could not do anything. I was like, and I have no time to clean. It's either I stay up and clean and lose sleep, and then I have to wake up early and go to work and be up at work all day, and then I can't even come home to like clean the house because I have
Yeah.
something to do, or I just take off tomorrow and I stay home and I clean my house. And that's literally what I did. And Carlos was off that day, so we were like cleaning the house together and stuff like that. So that was nice. And it's just like little things like that. I'm like that are really weird this year. This year seems all like really intense for some
Yeah.
reason, at least in as a school teacher, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, I'm not a student anymore, so I don't know how it is. I know with my brother, he came to, because my brother goes to the same college I did.
Mm.
And we were both, it was half online, half in person. So his last year, so he went through the whole year being half online, half in person. And now he's gone back and it's 100% in person. He's having to finally like have that college experience where it's like that. And he's telling me it's like, it's kind of, he's had some trouble because it's like he has to go to every class. And I mean, he's done good, but he's like, Jesus, I don't know how you did it all the time. I was like, yeah, that's what it is when there's not a pandemic, AJ.
Yeah, it's a little wild, but I'm like, I can't really complain. Like, all my classes are good. Like, all my students are really great students. I knock on wood, but I've not really had any like problem children, um, like or any issues. Like, my first year was terrible, and all my classes, not all my classes, but most of my classes were just like wild. But this year was like, it's been pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, but so, and then one more thing before we get into our topic for today. The reason we are not doing our new series yet is there's been like scheduling conflicts with the person that we want to be the third, the person for this series. She's also a first year teacher, so I think she's probably kind of feeling, and she's a sped teacher for special
Oh,
education. So she's first year, so she's also trying to figure it out. So we're trying to have to kind of figure out either if we continue with her or if we want to just do like one of my siblings, because I don't think either of them have read Twilight yet.
yeah.
They've both seen it, but they've never read it. So it's
My
either
brother,
that or Carlos is always here. He's barely watched the movies for the first time like a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
So,
I would get my brother, but he doesn't like reading books.
well, but yeah. So that's the do with that. So there's just like a couple of things there that we have to kind of like iron out, and then we'll get started with that. But so our topic for today, guys, we said we are talking about the most underrated villain of Twilight, and that
No,
is
it's not Aro. No, it's not James. No, it's not Jane. Can you get any guesses? It's
and I
nobody
guess
from the
is yeah, no one from the school. It is Miss Renee Dwyer. Is that how
choir.
you say her last? Dwyer.
Dwight. I think it's
Bella Swan's mom. This lady, man.
Who Raven has a Instagram account.
Yeah, if you guys want to go follow my Instagram account at Bella Swan's mom.
Your
The
captions are
I don't
hilarious.
I don't really it's every once in a while I get inspired to post on it, and then I'm like, okay, but yeah, I think I'm pretty funny. People are trying to DM me and like role play as Bella. It's kind of odd, a little bit, but yeah, we won't get into. So,
Oh
um,
my god.
I had this epiphany like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what I was doing or how this even happened, but I was like, you know what? A lot of Bella's problems are because of her mom. Her mom's like terrible. And it's like a well-known thing. I think that there's always been like Renee hate in the fandom, right?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna like look Renee up on Tumblr because there was a post that was really good that critiqued Renee and talked about like how horrible of a person she is.
Yeah, and so my whole thing was is I don't know. You know what? This is what it was. I was having a conversation with Cherish on TikTok or something like that, like in DMs, and I was like, dude, Renee sucks. Like all Bella needed was like a good like motherly figure, and a lot of her problems would have been solved, and she wouldn't have been wanting to like change into this like vampire and escape her problems if her mom just like
Yeah.
like was cool, like a good mom. I think I had sent you the messages also where I was like freaking out.
It's just like with Renee because I understand if Renee didn't want to, be a mom, if she wasn't ready, she could have easily given Charlie custody.
Mhm.
And it's just like,
I feel like honestly, I don't. I feel I love Charlie more than I love like Renee, where she sucks. But I don't know if it would have been any better than being with with Renee rather than Charlie, because Charlie has a very his job kind of like
yeah.
requires him to be there a lot, even though he's like the chief of police for a town with like a couple of hundred people there. So I'm like, I don't know how often you really have to be there, sir, but okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this led to me figuring out, but I was like, oh my gosh, because Bella has like a lot of Bella is the way she is because she has childhood trauma that is like undealt with. And that is why whenever she gets turned into a vampire, like all that seemingly goes away, because when you become a vampire in the Twilight universe, like you're like magically healed of all your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Technically.
I will point out that the movies did kind of put Renee in a better light than she did in the books. Like they didn't give her such a bad written narrative in the movies, because they did
Yeah.
show like how her and Bella kept in contact and all that, but not the book.
Yeah, in the books she was like terrible. And then I think I think there was something that came out where Stephanie was even like she's not supposed to be like a good mom.
Yeah.
like that was the point. And so I was trying to figure out what Bella's like trauma was, and I was like, she has PTSD from abandonment. And I was like, what are the symptoms? So I went and searched up the symptoms, and then I came to the realization that Edward leaving her in New Moon was like a trigger for her to go back to like the childhood trauma of her childhood. And I was like, okay, fear of being
another reason why I want to fight Edward.
literally.
Especially after reading Midnight Sun.
Yes. So fear of being left behind or abandoned. She was always terrified that Edward was going to leave her the entire time. Inability to form healthy relationships in teenage or adult years. Her and Edward did not have the healthiest relationship. Low self yeah, low self-esteem and feelings of self-worth. That's like Bella to a T. Anxiety and insecurity, depression, feeling of helplessness and inadequacy, being not enough. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Bella all the time, because Bella was always like, I'm not enough for you with Edward all the time. Checking out of relationships or friendships. Come on. She like literally abandoned like all her friends in New Moon.
Yeah.
Because of Edward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the list goes on, and the list goes on and on. And the last one is episodes of self-harming behaviors. I was like, Bella.
Check. Just cross all of that off.
Literally all of them. And this one also was funny. Not funny, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is Bella. Emotional flashbacks leading to feelings of panic or intense emotional distress. And I'm like, was that not literally Edward's ghost?
Yeah, literally.
I
if Stephanie meant to do that, or she just like wrote it not realizing, but she got it.
I wonder, I know, but yeah, because I really think that like her childhood, this like abandonment kind of thing with Renee. And when I mean abandoned, guys, I don't mean like she was left by herself, but it just means she was, yeah, she was like made to kind of like parent herself. Like she had to do the bills. And we learned this in Twilight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she said something along the lines of like having to balance a check. Like she wasn't like other kids in her school who went out to football games or was on the dance team. No, I was buying groceries and balancing a checkbook.
Yeah,
which
so
no 13-year-old should be doing that.
No, so she was literally like doing everything for her mom. And so then I think that that was part of it. And I know that Bella left to stay with Renee or with Charlie because of like she wanted her mom and Phil to like, I don't know what was the like she didn't want to be a burden on her mother, basically.
Yeah, like Phil got was gonna start traveling with baseball, and he was traveling, and so it was just Bella and Renee at the house while Phil was gone. And Renee never said anything, but just her actions spoke volume that she wanted to be with Phil and she wanted to be traveling with him, but she was at the house with Bella, and that's what made her sad. So that's why Bella was all like, I'm gonna leave and go with Charlie because she wants to be with Phil and not be with me. So it's like she just felt like she was intruding, even though I'm just all like, girlfriend, you're not intruding, that's your mama, she should be taking care of you.
Yeah, literally. And if like then she could have just gotten with them at the same time. But it just makes me think like, and there's a lot of things that we learned in Twilight. I think we learned in Twilight that she changed Bella's old bedroom into a gym.
I actually have a post right here that says it was a Tumblr post by @BellasRedChevy, which is one of my favorite like Tumblr accounts. And if you go on like any of like the Twilight meme Instagrams, you'll see a lot of their posts reblog. They got a anonymous asked, and the anonymous person said, Renee isn't a bad parent, LMAO. Nowhere in the books doesn't even imply that, y'all reaching. And then Bella's Red Chevy replied, girl, what? We are talking about the same Renee, right? The same Renee who can't feed herself or balance a checkbook to keep her house clean, leaving her daughter to do all those things. The same Renee who made it clear to Bella at a very young age that Bella is a nuisance to her. The same Renee that prioritized her new husband over her daughter's well-being and allowed her daughter to be unhappy so that she could finally be happy. The same Renee that made Bella's life-threatening injuries about herself. The same Renee who turned Bella's room into a yoga studio less than 2 months after Bella moved out. The same Renee who missed her only daughter's graduation because her husband broke his leg. That Renee?
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, to sums it up, we could end the podcast there because it's literally. I'm like, I really do think, I get it. That's the story of Twilight. But like, maybe Bella wouldn't have been so hung up on Edward and New Moon if she just went to fucking like therapy for her trauma because of Renee.
Yeah, and then Renee has the audacity to talk about Bella and Edward's relationship. Like, it's an intense thing. Like, I don't want you falling into the same trap that I did. And it's like, okay, honey, first of all, you left Charlie. I understand that because you were unhappy. But where did you put Bella in front of yourself? It's like, if Bella is falling into the same trap as you by falling in love young, getting married young, then maybe it's also because you didn't show her like any kind of affection to the point where she needed to pursue Edward in order to feel.
That's why this bitch Bella was fainting when she would kiss Edward, because she's been shown like 0.05 amount of affection, and so when she finally gets some affection, she's over here fucking fainting because she's like, what's going on? Like,
Like
I would be fainting too if I.
she freaking almost got hit by Tyler's van because she was crying that Charlie had changed her truck tires when no one's ever done that to her.
Yeah, that always creep. That was like she needed to change her truck tires, and Charlie was like, "Well, I got it. Like, I did it for you." But she was like, it seemed like she was a little bit more upset than like, "Oh, thank you so much for changing my truck tires." It was like, "Why did you do that? I could do it myself," which
Yeah.
is sad.
Yeah, because then she's all like, if I can't do it myself, then I'm not useful and I don't want to feel like that.
Hmm.
Bella, my baby, you deserve better.
Literally, she just needs like a mom. She needed a mom, and I think a lot of that stuff, whatever, would have been like figured out. But I guess it's like part of it. Like, I guess every main character has to have like some kind of issue, and Bella's is just like childhood trauma from her mom being fucking shitty.
I mean, it's kind of like the same with Katniss from Hunger Games because Katniss from Hunger Games, like her mom after the dad died, the mom shut off. And
Hmm.
Katniss had to become a kind of parent to make sure that her mom and Prim were taken care of. The only difference is that eventually Katniss's mom understands her flaw, apologizes, and works to do better. Renee never
Yeah,
did that.
and she won't ever because Bella will never see her again that we know of. you
Yeah.
know I guess we won't know until the new book comes out if Renee we won't know if Renee even ever knows about Renesmee until the Renesmee book comes out, or maybe we won't ever find out, but I would like to think that she doesn't, and to me the part of me is like, that's what you get.
Yeah. And also because it's like Charlie told Renee about a lot of the things at the beginning of Twilight, but I think once he found Sue, it stopped. I feel like it would have stopped because he kind of never got over Renee, and it wasn't until him and Sue got together. So
Yeah,
maybe he could keep a secret because if he didn't have Sue with him, I feel like he would have felt compelled to tell Renee about everything happening. But
yeah.
because he has Sue and he's finally over Renee, maybe he wouldn't.
See, I would like to think, I okay, so like I would like to think maybe this is like a little like Charlie Sue fanfic idea, but that they low key set up Sue to like watch Charlie and be in charge of Charlie to make sure, because the Quileute tribe at this point, the Wolf Pack, they knew that Bella's about to marry Edward. We need to keep things very safe, you know? And so there was like, you know what, Sue, you go, just be friendly, take him some food every now and then or whatever, they knew that, things were happening and it was going to be difficult. So I low key feel like they kind of set it up a little bit, and then like we're not expecting for them to like fall in love, and then they did. And then I think also part of me is like, well, Sue kind of keeps Charlie in check in terms of some of those things when maybe he's ever questioning a little bit too much. She can kind of
Yeah.
like bring him back. And not that I don't think that she loves Charlie. I think that they do, right? I think that she definitely does, but I think that that's probably one of her like main goals or purposes, is to make sure that Charlie does not ever kind of like find out everything.
Yeah. He already knows one part. He can't know the rest.
Yeah, I know. And then part of me also was wondering if oh my gosh, where did my brain go? Oh, I was thinking, because when I was thinking back to Nessie, please stop it. Trying to call the kittens. One's asleep and I don't know where the other one's at. Nessie, stop. Here. Okay, she saw me. She's coming. Um, so I was trying to think back to to Life and Death, and I was like, is Renee as shitty in Life and Death? That
I would think so, simply because it even like Bo still has some of the same lines with like, balancing a checkbook and all that. And also it's like Stephanie in the beginning of the book, it said that Bo is more OCD than Bella. So I feel like it would have affected him more in a sense almost. Um so I think she's still as shitty as she is. And also because Stephanie Meyer had said the reason why Renee still would have had custody of Bo was because in the 80s the mother would get custody over the father.
See, part of me thinks though that I guess maybe this is just like a stereotype, but you know how like sometimes people say like mothers with daughters are usually like really weird with them, like they need them, like they kind of like make them grow up a little too fast, kind of like what Renee did to Bella. But then a lot of times mothers with their sons are like, "Oh my God, you little baby," and stuff like that. So that's why part of me had kind of got
I can think of so many people right now where that issue applies.
no, yeah. I tell my mom all the time. My mom's the same way. Not in a Renee type of way, but like
Yeah.
definitely she babies my brother a lot more than she had ever babied like me or my siblings or my
That's how my
sisters.
grandma is. My grandma babies my uncle hell of a lot more than my mom and her sister. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My mom's not that way with me. Well, no, I take that back. Well, then it's also like I don't know if it would apply to me because I was I grew up in a military family. So
Mhm.
it's like when my mom was deployed, I kind of had to grow up and kind of learn how to do some things more quicker than like girls my age were doing because it's like my mom wasn't there for like
Yeah.
a year.
I
So
also I also was curious. What is Renee's occupation?
she was a preschool teacher, I think, or she was a teacher.
Oh my God, terrible. I feel like she'd be the worst teacher.
Terrible.
Let's see.
I'm like, I was like, she's supposed to teach kids when she can't even take care of her daughter.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find anything on.
The Twilight Saga wiki might have something.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Um, let's see.
Oh my god.
So she has a degree in elementary education.
Oh my
Um,
god. Her maiden name is Higginbotham, and I had my environmental science teacher from high school was Higginbotham.
oh no.
So I just can't help but think of that. She's 5'4". Oh my gosh. She's just 2 inches taller
I
than
was,
me.
I was about to be like, she's so short, but then I remember that you are shorter than her.
Yeah, it says teaches for kindergarten, first and second grade, but she was a waitress in her earlier life.
Yeah, I mean that seems very Renee, but I maybe not. I would assume like in my head she'd be like a yoga instructor or like Pilates instructor or something like weird like that. To me,
Ooh,
her personalities does not correlate with the type of person who has a stable job like an elementary teacher. To me, it's something she's always changing. She doesn't seem like a very stable person,
yeah.
you know.
Um,
So
I'm
what?
I'm looking at the wiki and it's uh-huh.
What'd you
I'm looking at the wiki and it says that it says for Renee, it says the first year after high school, Renee, who could no longer take living with her pessimistic mother, moved in with a friend. So Renee's mom was pessimistic and probably
So
was negative a lot. So
So it
she got
sounds like it's a generational trauma then.
mom.
They
So
have
Renee didn't go to therapy and therefore put trauma on her daughter who needed more therapy after that.
and you know what? The thing is that I feel like it's gonna be the same with Renesmee, but not in the same way, but because Bella has zero maternal instincts.
Yeah.
At least
Book Bella.
Bella. I'm like movie Bella, they painted her in a different way, you know, like I guess both of them were still protective, but like Bella is going to have people that she can hand Renesmee off to take care of her.
Yeah.
Rosalie, Esme, Alice, Jacob, like
Yeah.
so it's like I don't know. But I hope that Bella's a better mom. I mean, so hopefully she should be a better mom because she's like a supernatural mom. So she's not a regular mom. She's a supernatural mom.
Yeah.
She's a cool
They're gonna
mom.
she's a cool mom.
Speaking of um what am I looking at? Okay, let's see.
What? See, I'm reading this and it's just like I don't know if this is actual canon from the guide or if this is like head canon that someone had put in. It might be canon, but it's like after she divorced with Charlie, she moved back in with her mom, who was still difficult but doted on Bella. And
Mhm.
having Bella and spending time with her is what made her realize she was good with children and enjoyed them. And that's why she became a teacher. And but then I'm just like, then why did you neglect Bella for so all those times? Maybe she didn't realize that her actions were neglectful, but it's like looking back on it, it's like, yeah, you didn't pay much attention.
Yeah, she did not. I think I hope that Renesmee gets a better experience
Yeah.
than how uh Bella had it. That's the goal. That's the hope that Renesmee's like has a better future than than how Bella. I think like Bella was set up for like no matter okay, maybe this is like a little sensitive of a topic, but if I genuinely feel that if Bella did not turn into a vampire and like nothing happened, I feel like Bella would have unalived herself at some point.
I do
Like,
too.
like especially
I
like living in Forks. Like if let's say that she never met Edward and she like I just feel like she wouldn't have been in like the best mental state.
There's actually, now that you said that and I think about it, there is a line in Twilight, and they also put it, I think, in Life and Death, that is just brushed over. It's just brushed over that you could easily miss it, but if you catch it, you're like, what the fuck? But Bella said something, and like someone had said something to her, I think, or something, and she was in her thoughts, and she said, it's funny because I wasn't thinking I'd be here just a couple months ago, like, but the way it was written, it kind of implied that she was kind of suicidal. So
Yeah,
she
and then also in
miss it.
I don't know if they said it, I can't remember if it's said in the book, but it is said in the movie. And Edward's like it's like at the prom scene, and then oh my God, I don't know if I talked to you about that prom scene, but maybe I've said it before. But I think some of Kristen Stewart's best acting has came from that motherfucking prom scene when they were dancing. Like that is some of her zero lines, hardly any lines. It's the facials, and she's just so good. That's like some of her best. To me, that's like that's it. That
She
sells it for me.
she is great when it comes to facial expressions and just like showing emotion through her
See,
eyes.
I wish we would have gotten more of that type of acting in that we had got in that scene. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, please go and search up Twilight prom scene, Edward and Bella dancing or something like that, because it's like in her face, and I just
Yeah,
see it. I'm like, oh, I wish Bella, she gave me more of this for Bella. But part of me is like, that was Kristen. That was Kristen. That was
that
not
was Miss,
Bella.
which I cannot wait to watch Spencer.
Hmm. And I can't wait to watch Batman either.
Already.
I'm so excited for that. But so she says something like he says something about like, so you really want to like be dead or something. I don't know, some bullshit, like some Edward Cullen thing to say. And she's she's like, I'm already like, she's like, I'm already not living or some bullshit. Like, I need, okay, that's gonna bother me. I have to go find it. I have to go find it. Um, let's see. And she said this, and I was like, this bitch is suicidal. Let's see. Okay. All right, let me find it. I'm on Twilight Saga Wiki. There has to be the quote here. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, where is this?
Ow, I hit my ankle. I hate that.
Where is this stupid quote? It's gonna bother me forever.
I don't
I'm gonna have to freaking watch it. Okay, commercial break to find this quote.
Bro, I have a freaking sensitive warning on my Carrie TikToks.
I saw.
I'm like, what the fudge? It's because I put the TW for the blood.
Okay, it's coming up.
Gonna end your life.
Already.
So he says, I'm not gonna end your life. And she says, I'm dying already. And just part of me, I get it. It's like every day you're like a day closer to your death or whatever. But like to me, there's just something not right about that to me. To me, it's just like Bella's gonna unalive herself. And I low-key feel like if she did not, like if she did not become a vampire, she would not. I don't think that I think that she would have unalived.
Yeah, she would have unalived herself.
Unless this girl really got some like hardcore therapy and like figured her shit out, is the only way that I think
Yeah.
that she could.
Oh,
I don't know.
and like, and it makes me wonder, like, with New Moon. I mean, if she was already that deep right there, then it's like, what kept her not from doing it in New Moon? Because it felt like New Moon would have been when she would have done it.
Yeah. If Edward did not come back, but because then there was Jake. Jake was there as like her buffer, But like, let's say that Jake was not there, Any of those little factors, she probably would have unalived herself. Or tried to. I mean, you know what? And she did several times in New Moon, tried to unalive herself. Not try to, but put herself in danger of things that could have potentially harmed her very badly.
Yeah.
So she was being very impulsive already. So it just, I think Renee's terrible. I hate Renee so much. And that
I
is
can't
why
stand.
and that's one villain that we've never talked about on this podcast is Renee. And she's the villain.
She really is. She's a villain who she's like an indirect villain. Like when you think of Twilight villains, you think of Aro, you think of James, you think of Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think of Renee. Not unless you dig deep and you like peel back layers and you look at Bella individually as a character, and then you realize, oh my God, like you're a shitty parent. Now I gotta say, as much as I love Charlie, but then it's like I can't blame Charlie for not knowing how to act with Bella because Renee took her from him and only gave him 2 weeks out of the year, so he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, how could anyone, like, if you don't see someone like a child that's yours for a long time, you don't know what they like, you don't know what they are like and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
And
so,
Bella's not gonna say, because Bella doesn't want to talk about like herself, so she's not gonna say what she likes.
yeah, and I think that a good thing, like part of it, her awkward relationship with Charlie, not only has to do with them being separated for so long, but also the fact that like that Charlie just sees her as his little girl, And so I could imagine that a lot of times that they would get together or stuff, he would want to go do like things that he would think that a girl her age would like to do. Meanwhile, this chick over here is balancing checkbooks and like cooking and going grocery shopping and running errands for her mom. So to her, it's like, why am I doing this when I have like important things to do? When it's like, girl, that's
Like
not your job.
fun? What is that? Because Bella's free time would be her reading classic books because that was all what Renee had.
Yeah. I mean, at least she has good book taste, Renee.
Yeah. Period. Jane
If you want to
Austen.
give one good note about her.
Yeah, that's the only thing that Renee has. She has got good book taste. She likes the classics.
Yeah. But other than that, she's like a terrible person. I would say that she's the number one villain in my book.
Yeah.
I don't
She
even think
hurt.
I don't think James or Aro or Victoria are that bad compared to
Yeah.
Renee. They all had a motive.
Yeah, they
No,
had a motive.
James.
Renee was just a
Yeah.
mom. I mean, and then it's like those are things that stick with people for a long time.
Yeah.
And you can't get over. So it's like Bella, she probably, of course, forgot about them as she became a vampire because, now it's like, oh, I don't need to care about that. I have this family that I'm gonna have with forever. But when she was human, just a teenager, it's just like she just needs therapy.
Yeah. I don't know, but Renee sucks. And that is the topic for this week, guys. Renee's the villain of Twilight.
But
Yeah, it's a quick one, but it's something that I needed to get off our chest.
yeah,
It had to be said. Renee sucks.
like I'm like, let me just pull this up because I saw this and it really made me laugh. It was like a Mother's Day post, and it had all the moms. It had all the moms from. Oh, I have this. This one's funny. This is the be a good mother or draw 25, and then it says Renee. 25. And, oh my God, that is foul, but that is so fucking funny. Let me see where is it? I just saw it. It was all the moms. It was like a one of those box things. And there it is. I found it. It said it's like Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms of the Twilight Saga, but then it has not you. And it's
Oh my goodness. I just that's what we need to that's gonna be one of the thumbnails, one of those pictures. Oh, that could be the post that we use for Instagram.
It's
Renee's.
from Edward. It says from Edward's Made Forever, and it says, so in New Moon, Charlie tells Bella that Renee coordinated the gifts. She made Charlie buy that digital camera while she gave Bella a scrapbook. Cheap ass bitch.
Literally. And so you know what? The one thing that we did not talk about, Renee, and this could be like the last little thing, but another reason for us to hate her so much, whatever. I think the Renee hate was not as bad when it was just like Twilight through Breaking Dawn. But once we got Midnight Sun, we learned that this is terrible. We learned that she literally. Okay, so I don't. So Midnight Sun's a lot longer because Edward just has thoughts for days and days and days and days.
He does not shut up in that head.
And then,
oh my god.
And Bella is like no thoughts. So that is why Twilight is significantly shorter than Midnight Sun.
I love that. It's a good thing Edward is the mind reader, because if someone else was the mind reader, they would be in hell listening to that.
Imagine if Bella was the mind reader. I feel she would definitely go to if Bella became a vampire and ended up her superpower was mind reading, she would go to the Volturi and be like, end it on now. She would go tell everyone that she was a vampire. She would expose herself and everything just to be killed by the Volturi, because Bella, the no thought brain, is suddenly getting everyone's thoughts. No, thank you.
Oh no. Oh my god, this part, which we're about to get into when we because we talked about Midnight Sun, Bella's red Chevy post it said when Edward calls Renee a narcissist, and it says, I love this song. I'm gonna send you these.
Yes, we'll post them on Instagram as part of our We Hate Renee. We should do a weekly I Hate Renee post. That's what we're gonna do. Every week we're gonna do.
If y'all are listening are any freaking Renee stans, you might want to log off, because not here.
I don't know why you would be a Renee stan, first of all. Sounds like a personal problem. But so in Midnight Sun, we learn towards the end of the book, which is still doesn't even not like the end of the book, because there's still like a big chunk afterward.
So we got the prom and everything. God,
yeah. So we learn whenever, when Renee comes into the thing, Edward literally thought that it was someone like screaming for help, like something happened, because he said that he heard them so vividly and loud that he thought it was something he was hearing with his actual ears and not someone's like mind. But it was Renee. It was her mind. She's so her thoughts were just like out there. Like if Bella is 0, Renee is like 200.
Literally.
And then Charlie's like 50%. He's like halfway there, But so her thoughts were automatically crazy. And she kind of starts off on a good note, because she comes in and she's like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Right? Like crazy, hysterical. And then she like gets into the room. She's like freaking out, right? And then she notices Edward. And she's like, who's this? This can't be the doctor. He's so young, right? And then she realizes that Edward is the boyfriend. And
you kind of froze a bit.
Okay, you were frozen too.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So she noticed when she realizes that Edward is the boyfriend, her immediately thought is like, Bella has no chance. She's gonna get heartbroken. He's gonna break her heart. He's too good for her, basically. As if Bella has no redeemable qualities about her, The first red flag. Second red flag, I think she starts making comments about her appearance. Obviously, she looks bad, but I think she at some point said that she was like getting too pale and that she needed to like get some sun or something while she's laying in a hospital bed with like broken bones.
Life-threatening injuries.
Yeah. Oh, and then she also compares him. She compares Bella to Charlie, a hopeless romantic. She was like, I hope she's not being a Charlie about this. Which
When
just
I read that line, I was like, we're fighting right now, Renee.
those are
Square up.
fighting words.
That is literally. I was like, wow. I was like, I knew Stephanie Meyer hated almost every woman that she wrote, but man, does she hate Renee?
Yeah, she does not hate any woman in Twilight as much as she hates Renee. And that's a fact because of how she has written her. You know, I think all the women in there, Victoria, all of them have a tragic backstories, which is another topic that we want to get into one of these days. But they have these tragic backstories, and it's like Stephanie Meyer hates women, but they all have redeemable qualities.
Yeah.
Renee,
Renee,
zero.
she got mommy issues that just made her give her own child mommy issues.
And I think the worst part of that visit, one was her thinking about her commenting in her head about how she should take the stairs because she needs to watch her figure a little bit. So she's
Like, what,
it's as she's leaving the hospital, like she's leaving the hospital because she's like, Phil's gonna call me anytime soon. And then Bella's like, go mom, like whatever. And then on her way out, she's like, I should take the stairs because I haven't been really watching what I eat. And it's like, girl, you're gonna leave your daughter there. And part of me was like, first of all, there's no stairs in the Forks Hospital, but they're in Arizona, so part of me, so ignore that. Like, have you been to Forks Hospital? There's 0 stairs. It's a 1-level building, ma'am. But they were in Arizona, so that was my mistake. But she just, and then I think that is where the Renee hate train really dug through, because she wasn't. I mean, if you just read Twilight in its entirety, there's so much else going on that Renee kind of gets lost in there. But when you add
one, I was gonna try and look at Renee for her graphic novel, but I forgot. I only have volume 2. I don't have volume 1.
Oh no.
It'll be in volume 1.
Yeah. So if you were just to look at the surface level of the Twilight Saga without Midnight Sun, it's like she gets lost and it's like whatever. But when you get into if you really try to look into her, and like then you add in Midnight Sun, she's like terrible.
Yeah. I just saw, it was funny because this past week I saw a trailer for like a show. I think it's a show on Sci-Fi or something, and the actress who plays Renee is in this show, and I was all like, oh my god, I knew we were gonna do the Renee episode, so I was like, oh my god, there you are.
She's great. I love Sarah Clark. She's great. Part of an issue I'm having on my Bella Swan's mom account is that I think some people are thinking that it's a real account, like people, because I'm getting followed by people who don't look like your typical Twilight fan, by non-Twilight accounts. Like,
so you think that they actually think you're a person?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. So in case you don't get duped by me as Bella Swan's mom. But wow, what a topic. Bella Swan's mom. That's gonna be episode titled Bella Swan's mom. She sucks. Oh my goodness. Hold on. We need to talk about this, and we can talk about it on the podcast without name dropping, I think. But Forks Classified. What is that?
Okay, I'm kind of glad we brought this up because I have no idea who the hell that is.
I think some people in the fandom might think that it's someone from our group.
From our group?
Yeah, I've heard speculations from people. I've gotten DMs from people saying, "Hey, so and so thinks that this is so and so, someone from our
Well, see,
group."
I can understand. Okay, if the so and so that we're thinking of who is running Forks Gossip Girl, if we think that they're that person,
They
I
do
can
not.
understand why
They do not think
I
it's
can.
that person.
Okay,
They think it's
so
someone else. Um, and I'll name drop and stuff afterward. But so for those of you that don't know, and if you don't keep up with like fandom drama or fandom tea, every fandom has it. It comes and goes in waves, you know?
especially when you have popular creators who, like, a lot of people in the fandom follow.
Yeah.
That's what drama comes in.
Recently, we all started like everyone in the group chat all started getting followed by this account called Forks Classified. And I only knew about it because we got followed on the Bite podcast about it. Because I have like different accounts on my phone. So I have the Bella Swan's mom, I have the Raven, my personal one, and then I have two school ones because I have the high school Instagram, then I have my middle school Instagram, then I have my Finsta, by podcast, the other podcast, my husband's photography, and then Batty Bella Swan. I have a lot of accounts connected, right?
Yeah.
And like so sometimes I get notifications that I don't know what account they're from. And so I went and I clicked on it and I was like, oh, my podcast, someone followed us, right? And I go and it was like Forks Classified. And I was like, what is this? And then even people in the group chat were like, okay, guys, like who made this? Like similar to like the Forks Gossip Girl, like when it was created to like, or the Bella Swan's mom account, because whenever I made it, I wanted it to be anonymous. And like after it got made, these people were screenshotting and sending in the group chat. They're like, guys, who made this? And I really wanted it to be a secret, but then people, I think Crystal figured it out or something like that.
Yeah. Because it's like once you see that they follow everyone that you follow, it's like, okay, maybe it's someone you know. And, I wasn't in the group chat. I'm not in the group chat anymore. But when I saw that account had followed, and then I saw that their post was about Forks Gossip Girl, which again, I didn't know who that was because I didn't know who made that account. They had just followed me. That's when I saw that they followed everyone that I knew. They followed everybody from the group chat. So I texted you about it. I was like, "Hey, who are these people?" Or no, I just asked you about who Forks Classified is because I didn't know either.
Yeah, so basically they followed our account and their first post was a screenshot of the Forks Gossip Girl account. And their caption said, "What this page tried and failed to do, I'll make sure to do correctly." Unfortunately, their biggest downfall was assuming only the pages with massive amounts of followers have something to hide. Yeah, they do. LMFAO. But the small creators are just as guilty. Anonymous submissions will be opening soon, although I already have a boatload of compost tea to spill. Okay. So then
when I saw that part, when I saw the compost tea thing, I was like, wait a damn minute. Okay, that
exactly what you were thinking there is what another person thought, and then they thought it was that person.
Okay.
And then so people were like, who is what? It's guys, just bear with us. So and then they tagged the Forks Gossip Girl account. So the person running this account was like, what the heck? So then they responded, and then they said the point of this account was to bring to light the people in this fandom who treat people unfairly and allow people to form their own opinions about these people in the fandom, not to bully small creators, to fix a system. You don't start with the people at the bottom who have little, but rather with the people who create the environment in the first place. Amazing response, I think. But because I think when I first read it, what bothered me was that they were like the smaller accounts. And I was like, what? Like, why the
Well, are we
small?
really going there?
Yeah, I like the people who really don't like what whoever Forks Gossip Girl, what they said literally, like, why are we gonna go after the smaller people when if there's an issue, you should really be starting at the top and like working the way you don't like go and attack the small people if they have nothing, like they have nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And then they Forks Classified commented on that post And they said, just say you don't agree and or like OG Twilight creators for calling you out on potential problematic behavior and move forward. So when they said this, because all of the group chat, and I think you too, were all like, what? Like, we're following this. Like, what the heck is going on? Because that makes it sound like it's someone that our group has had problems with before.
Yeah.
You know? So then we were like, that's weird. And then they said, a page follower account has nothing to do with what I'm bringing to light, dear. I'm delving last gossip and hurt feelings and revealing actual scams that have been willing permitted to happen. People have been lied to, cheated, and financially hurt. If you'd like to continue this conversation privately, my DMs are open. And then Forks Gossip Girl said, I mean, do whatever you want, dear. I honestly don't care. I don't see why the need to bring this page into it. If your bio distinctly says no hate will be tolerated, your whole reason for the account is to expose things. Why take things privately when you went so publicly already? And they said, I see and I hear you. I had a handful of messages asking if I was the 2.0 version of your page, to which I'm not, but please do proceed with the original plan of revealing scandalous gossip. If you'd ever like to work together, you know where you can reach me, XOXO. But then this bothered me a little bit because they posted something. Works Classified posted something like a couple of days later about it's the underscore fluorescence, because apparently their page was taken down and they were like, they made a post about it, and it was like, okay, right? And then they were silent for a long time because I think they had posted on their Instagram that that their account was trying to be hacked into, so they lost access to it or something like that, and so that's why they hadn't posted. But then their next post bothered me because it was like, stay tuned for more something about a certain auction, the true plastics of the fandom, and the one. And I was like, okay, a certain auction.
Did they delete that post?
No, it was on their stories.
Okay, because I never saw
Yeah.
that. I don't follow.
Well, I only saw because screenshots were sent to me. So yeah. So I was like, okay, a certain auction. So then obviously they were gonna be going after Sam because she does the auctions, and then the true plastics. And I was like, okay, this could either be a dig at our group chat or people in our friend group, because we have been called the plastics of the fandom at some point. But then what kind of like,
when did that happen? I must have not heard that.
Maybe not. You were like MIA for a while, I think, like when you were in the group chat. But I will catch you up on stuff after we finish. So I was like, okay, well, we've been called that once. So could it be about us? But then they said the true plastics. So I was like, maybe it's not about us. And then they said the one. And I was like, the one? What is I know. I was like, that's so cryptic. Like, my thing is, it's like, why be cryptic about it? Like, just why not just say it? Like, why not just put it all out there? What is the point of like? What is the point of like holding this stuff back unless you were there for gossip? Because it was like, oh, their thing says keep you up to date on fandom related news. But then my issue with that about the fandom related news, they said that in their thing it was like, oh, they're just like every time they say something, it's contradictions up the ass. Like terribly. It's like, wait, so are you a gossip page? Are you a fandom news page? Are you an exposer? Because it's all confusing. It's all confusing. Like, I'm getting very mixed messages. And then this is my thing too, is they said, I see you and I hear you. I had a handful of messages asking if I was the 2.0 version of your page, to which I'm not. But then but please do proceed with your original plan of revealing scandalous gossip. But then to me, it's like, how are you not?
I froze.
Oh, okay. Good.
Repeat that. What you just.
So they said
Yeah.
that they told Forks Gossip Girl to continue on with their plan of revealing scandalous gossip. But then I'm like, are you not doing the same thing if you post about the true plastics of the fandom and the one like I'm like, is it not like what is the difference? Because I this what they're posting is like the same thing to me. I don't know. Like as I don't know. And then the fact
Yeah.
that I guess and then Sam addressed something in her stories about the auction. It's like taking slower. So then they were like, okay, well, since this has already been addressed, we're not going to talk about it or we're not going to post about it. So then they were like, so what do you want to hear about next? They said the mean girls or the one. Like it was a poll vote in their stories and the majority of it was Mean Girls.
So they still have yet to touch
They
on that.
yeah, they still haven't that was posted last week. They still have not said
Damn.
anything about who was gonna I mean, they haven't, but I'm like, if they really do try to expose or, do something weird like that, I'm like, how are they not the same thing? You know? Are you frozen? I think you're frozen.
I did not. Yeah, you're frozen a bit. Hold on. Repeat that.
No, I was just like, if they end up posting something, I mean, I don't know what kind of scandalous news they can post about anyone in our group chat. I don't think anyone in our group chat has like done anything so dire that is like scandalous news or gossip
Yeah.
or I don't know. Because I don't know. I feel like it's always I can't think of anything. They were talking about bringing to light people being scammed and financially, you
Oh
know,
well.
hurt.
I
And I
mean,
don't think
I wouldn't know that. I mean, I don't have like a business. I mean, I have a Redbubble page, but it's like I just put designs up there. So
yeah, that's why I don't think it's anything about that. So then if they post something about someone like either someone in our group or people that are in our group, then I don't see how that is like
yeah,
uh,
because
not
it's like
gossip.
if you're gonna come at someone for a financial being scammed, then it's like they have to have a business. So it's like they're doing merch, they have an Etsy shop, all kind of that stuff. So I don't understand that. And then it's like they came at Gossip Girl really hard, and now it's like what? Now they're backtracking.
I don't know. It seemed like they were telling the owner of Forks Gossip Girl, like you were just gonna post about scandalous news and try to expose people, and we're not like that. Like if they were like any better, but I'm like, it just seems like you're doing the same thing though.
Yeah.
Like I don't see the originality of it. I don't know. I think
And
it's
for it's classified, if you're watching this, I really don't care for what you do you. We're just trying to understand like what are you gonna do? Because it's kind of confusing.
my thing about it is it's like why hide behind this account? Like
Yeah.
why? Because okay, if we're being okay, not
Your cat is right behind you. And it was like she was staring at the screen. And all I just see is half her face.
I'm like
Oh my god, that was so
not to be
funny.
shady because I definitely, like the Bella Swan's mom account, I wanted to be anonymous, but only because I wanted to go and do funny thing, like comment funny things on people's account and them to be like, what the heck, right? But like that was the only reason. But I wasn't gonna use the Bella Swan's mom account to expose people. But you would think that if you wanted to really, really expose people or bring light to situations and say you already had an account that had followers and was like in the fandom and people knew about you, wouldn't you rather just like go and do it on that page where it's going to be like brought to more people's attention rather than on a new account behind a, a facade and stuff like,
Yeah.
And I guess like the same could be said about the Forks Gossip Girl, but like at the same time, it's like people already assumed who Forks Gossip Girl was or who was associated with it, you know?
You'll tell
Like,
me after we finish this who it is, right? Because
yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. But the thing is that like people already assumed who a lot of people I think in the fandom, maybe some people assumed who was Forks Gossip Girl, or like maybe they thought that Charlie Swan's Angel was Forks Gossip Girl. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's what I think that people thought, that like the whole group was associated with that account, when that, that's not true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like people would have assumed it was us anyways, but like no one knows who's even running this account at all. And it's like, well,
Oh,
they like, why not just come out and be like, why not just post about it also? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's wild fandom drama. But with that being said, guys,
Mhm.
that is it for this episode. So we had a little bit of
That's it
Renee,
for this episode. Thank you.
a little bit of tea. Thank you so much for being patient with us on this little break that we had.
Yeah.
Also, thanks for being patient with us about my vlogs, because it's one vlog, but I have not posted it because I have not had the time of day. Mary keeps asking me every single day, when are you gonna post your vlog? And I'm like, when I have time. I don't. I don't have time ever. But yeah, so I'll post those soon, hopefully. But if not, read all of Ree's vlogs are there, so you can go catch up on hers if you haven't already.
You can head to the
And
page. There's a playlist on YouTube. There's a playlist and it has all 6 of the videos. So I'm a
yeah,
bad vlogger. They're so bad. Like they're just
mine are probably
Snapchat clips, most of
mine
them.
is probably 10 times worse, because it's like one clip of like, hey guy, hey vlog, we're gonna go do this, and then like cut to the next clip. Oh, so we
You'll
already
do something
did that.
different.
And yeah,
Literally.
so
I
mine
think
is
the only thing where I stuck through that, where we're about to go meet Peter, and then I actually have the thing of me meeting Peter, and that's like it.
yeah, mine's a very chaotic vlog, and but hey, those are the vibes, chaos. Are the vibes. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully the next episode you guys will get from us is the start of the new series. If not, it'll be about something. But we need to make sure like that it's going to be perfect. We don't want to go into it like figuring things out. We want stuff figured out already. So yeah, that is it. This is
That's
Nessie.
it.
Nessie, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say something to the camera?
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm just gonna. If anybody is likes, if anybody loves Greek mythology and you love Schmut, read Neon Gods by Katie Robert. It is a very hot and spicy Hades and Persephone retelling, and I finished this in
Oh,
2 days. And it's so good. I like they actually do Hades in a very like she wrote Hades in a good way, because a lot of Hades and Persephone's retelling they have him kind of mean and abusive.
mm-hmm.
This one he is like he's gentleman. I mean he's
I
still
love
like
that.
a dominatrix, but he's kind of like a consent king. It's like
I
I
love
was like, oh
that.
my god, stop it, Hades! You're like so hot in this.
No, yeah, because he's not portrayed like that a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I will say in the pagan slash Wiccan community, Hades is seen as like a sweetheart. Like their relationship is seen like as like love, in our community, and it's just amazing.
You might like this book.
I might actually. I'll have to look into it then.
Which I gotta ask, have you read It Ends With Us yet? I can't wait to talk to you about it. I've been
That's my
wondering because huh?
that's my goal for when I'm traveling to Washington.
I wanted because I had I posted like a picture of all the books that you guys had gotten me for my birthday, and most
Mhm.
of them were Colleen Hoover books, and I like hashtagged it Colleen Hoover and all that, and I got a like from like I think it was a role play account or something, but it said Atlas Corrigan, and it was like, it was like I don't think it was a role, but it was like a page with Atlas's aesthetic, and Atlas is a
Mm,
character, and it ends with us. So I was like, oh my
mm.
god, and I was like, I wonder if Raven's read it yet.
I have not. I've been so busy, but I will.
Can't wait for when you do, because
If not, if not, my my Thanksgiving break is gonna be dedicated to me reading just like all the books that I have on my shelf. So, oh, what happened?
yeah,
Did you freeze again? Back, yeah.
can't wait.
That's okay.
Oh no.
That's it. That's it for today, guys. It's so glad being back. Hopefully, we are able to stick with it. I think we are. I think we will be. We just need to be like very smart about our time, especially me. I'm I'm terrible, but yeah. So we'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed this Renee hate video. Basically what this is just one long Renee hate video and some tea sprinkled in there. And we will talk to you guys later.
See you in the
Ciao.
next one.
Bye.